Windsor forest by Alexander Pope. Thy forests, Windsor, and thy green retreats, at once the monarchs and the muses' seats, invite my lays. Be present, sylvan maids. Unlock your springs, and open all your shades. Granville commands. Your aid, O muses, bring. What muse for Granville can refuse to sing? The groves of Eden, vanished now so long, live in description, and look green in song. These, were my breast inspir'd with equal flame, like them in beauty, should be like in fame. Here hills and vales, the woodland and the plain, here earth and water, seem to strive again. Not chaos-like together crushed and bruis'd, but as the world, harmoniously confus'd. Where order in variety we see, and where, though all things differ, all agree. Here waving groves a checquer'd scene display, and part admit, and part exclude the day, as some coy nymph her lover's warm address nor quite indulges, nor can quite repress. There, interspersed in lawns and opening glades, thin trees arise that shun each other's shades. Here in full light the russet plains extend, there wrapped in clouds the bluish hills ascend. Evie and the wild heath displays her purple dyes, and, midst the desart fruitful fields arise, that crowned with tufted trees and springing corn, like verdant isles the sable waste adorn. Let India boast her plants, nor envy we the weeping amber or the balmy tree, while by our oaks the precious loads are borne, and realms commanded which those trees adorn. Not proud Olympus yields a nobler sight, though, God's assembled grace his towering height, than what more humble mountains offer here, where, in their blessings, all those gods appear. See Pan with flocks, with fruits Pomona crowned, here blushing Flora paints enameled ground, here Ceres gifts in waving prospect stand, and nodding tempt the joyful reaper's hand. Rich industry sits smiling on the plains, and peace and plenty tell, a Stuart reigns. Not thus the land appeared in ages past, a dreary desart and a gloomy waste, to savage beasts and savage laws a prey, and kings more furious and severe than they, who claimed the skies, dispeopled air and floods, the lonely lords of empty wilds and woods. Cities laid waste, they stormed the dens and caves, for wiser brutes were backward to be slaves. What could be free, when lawless beasts obeyed, and Evie and the elements a tyrant swayed? In vain kind seasons swelled the teeming grain, soft showers distilled, and suns grew warm in vain. The swain with tears his frustrate labor yields, and famished dies amidst his ripened fields. What wonder then, a beast or subject slain were equal crimes in a despotic reign? Both doomed alike, for sportive tyrants bled, but that the subject starved, the beast was fed. Proud Nimrod first the bloody chase began, a mighty hunter, and his prey was man. Our haughty Norman boasts that barbarous name, and makes his trembling slaves the royal game. The fields are ravished from industrious swains, from men their cities, and from gods their fanes. The levelled towns with weeds lie covered. Or, the hollow winds throw, naked temples roar. Round broken columns clasping ivy twinned, or heaps of ruin stalked the stately hind. The fox obscene to gaping tombs retires, and savage howlings fill the sacred choirs. Awed by his nobles, by his commons cursed, oppressor ruled tyrannic where he durst, stretched o'er the poor and church his iron rod, and served alike his vassals and his god, whom Evan the Saxon sparred, and bloody Dane, the wanton victims of his sport remain. But see, the man who spacious regions gave a waste for beasts, himself denied a grave. Stretched on the lawn, his second hope survey, at once the chaser, and at once the prey. Lo Rufus, tugging at the deadly dart, bleeds in the forest, like a wounded hart. Succeeding monarchs heard the subjects' cries, nor saw displeased the peaceful cottage rise. Then gathering flocks on unknown mountains fed, o'er sandy wilds where yellow harvests spread. The forests wondered at unusual grain, and secret transport touched the conscious swain. Fair Liberty, Britannia's goddess, rears her cheerful head, and leads the golden years. Ye vigorous swains, while youth ferments your blood, and pure spirits swell the sprightly flood, now range the hills, the thickest woods beset, wind the shrill horn, or spread the waving net. When milder autumn summer's heat succeeds, and in the new shorn field the partridge feeds, before his lord the ready spaniel bounds, panting with hope, he tries the furrowed grounds, but when the tainted gales the game betray, couched close he lies, and meditates the prey. Secure they trust unfaithful field, beset, till hovering o'er 'em sweeps the swelling net. Thus, if small things we may with great compare, when Albion sends her eager sons to war, some thoughtless town, with ease and plenty blessed, near, and more near, the closing lines invest. Sudden they seize amazed, defenseless prize, and high in air Britannia's standard flies. See! From the brake the whirring pheasant springs, and mounts exulting on triumphant wings. Short is his joy. He feels the fiery wound, flutters in blood, and panting beats the ground. Ah! What avail his glossy, varying dyes, his purple crest, and scarlet-circled eyes, the vivid green his shining plumes unfold, his painted wings, and breast that flames with gold? Nor yet, when moist Arcturus clouds the sky, the woods and fields their pleasing toils deny. To plains with well-breathed beagles we repair, and trace the mazes of the circling hare. Beasts, urged by us, their fellow beasts pursue, and learn of man each other to undo. With slaughtering guns unwearied fowler roves, when frosts have whitened all the naked groves, where doves in flocks the leafless trees o'ershade, and lonely woodcocks haunt the watery glade. He lifts the tube, and levels with his eye. Straight a short thunder breaks the frozen sky. Oft, as in airy rings they skim the heath, the clamorous plovers feel the leaden death. Oft, as the mounting larks their notes prepare, they fall, and leave their little lives in air. In genial spring, beneath the quivering shade, where cooling vapors breathe along the mead, the patient fisher takes his silent stand, intent, his angle trembling in his hand. With looks unmoved, he hopes the scaly breed, and eyes the dancing cork, and bending reed. Our plenteous streams of various race supply, the bright aid perch with fins of Tyrian dye, the silver eel, in shining volumes rolled, the yellow carp, in scales bedripped with gold, swift trouts, diversified with crimson stains, and pikes, the tyrants of the watery plains. Now Cancer glows with Phoebus' fiery car. The youth rush eager to the sylvan war, swarm o'er the lawns, the forest walks surround, rouse the fleet heart, and cheer the opening hound. Impatient. Courser pants in every vein, and pawing, seems to beat the distant plain. Hills, vales, and floods appear already crossed, and ere he starts, 1,000 steps are lost. See! The bold youth strain up the threatening steep, rush through the thickets, down the valleys sweep, hang o'er their coursers' heads with eager speed, and earth rolls back beneath the flying steed. Let old Arcadia boast her ample plain, a mortal huntress, and her virgin train, nor envy, Windsor. Since thy shades have seen as bright a goddess, and as chaste a queen, whose care, like hers, protects the sylvan reign, the earth's fair light, and empress of the main. Here, as old bards have sung, Diana strayed, bathed in the springs, or sought the cooling shade, here armed with silver bows. In early dawn, her buskined virgins tracked the dewy lawn. Above the rest a rural nymph was famed, thy offspring, Thames. The fair Ladonna nammed, Ladona's fate, in long oblivion cast, the Muse shall sing, and what she sings shall last. Scarce could the goddess from her nymph be known, but by the crescent and the golden zone. She scorned the praise of beauty, and the care, a belt. Her waist, a fillet binds her hair, a painted quiver on her shoulder sounds, and with her dart the flying deer she wounds. It chonked, as eager o' the chase, the maid beyond the forest's verdant limits strayed, Pan saw and loved, and burning with desire pursued her flight increased his fire. Not half so swift the trembling doves can fly, when the fierce eagle cleaves the liquid sky. Not half so swiftly the fierce eagle moves, when thro' the clouds he drives the trembling doves, as from the god she flew with furious pace, or as the god, more furious, urged the chase. Now fainting, sinking, pale, the nymph appears, now close behind, his sounding steps she hears, and now his shadow reached her as she run, his shadow lengthened by the setting sun. and now his shorter breath, with sultry air, pants on her neck, and fans her parting hair. In vain on Father Thames she called for aid, nor could Diana help her injured maid. Faint, breathless, thus she prayed, nor prayed in vain. Ah Cynthia! Ah thou, banished from thy train, let me, oh let me, to the shades repair, my native shades there weep, and murmur there. She said, and melting as in tears she lay, in a soft, silver stream dissolved away. The silver stream her virgin coldness keeps, forever murmurs, and forever weeps, still bears the name the hapless virgin bore, and bathes the forest where she ranged before. In her chaste current oft the goddess laves, and with celestial tears augments the waves. Oft, in her glass the musing shepherd spies the headlong mountains and the downward skies, the watery landscape of the pendant woods, and absent trees that tremble in the floods. In the clear azure gleam the flocks are seen, and floating forests paint the waves with green. Through the fair scene rowl slow the lingering streams, then foaming pour along, and rush into the Thames. Thou too, great father of the British floods, with joyful pride survey'st our lofty woods, where towering oaks their spreading honours rear, and future navies on thy shores appear. Not Neptune's self from all his streams receives a wealthier tribute, than to thine he gives. No seas so rich, so gay no banks appear, no lake so gentle, and no spring so clear. Not fabled Po more swells the poet's lays, while thro' the skies his shining current strays, than thine, which visits Windsor's famed abodes, to grace the mansion of our earthly gods, nor all his stars a brighter lustre show, than the fair nymphs that grace thy side below. Here Jove himself, subdued by beauty still, might change Olympus for a nobler hill. Happy the man whom this bright court approves, his sovereign favours, and his country loves. Happy next him, who to these shades retires, whom nature charms, and whom the Muse inspires, whom humbler joys of home felt quiet please, successive study, exercise, and ease. He gathers health from herbs the forest yields, and of their fragrant physic spoils the fields. With chymic art exalts the mineral powers, and draws the aromatic souls of flowers. Now marks the course of rolling orbs on high. O'er figured worlds now travels with his eye. Of ancient writ unlocks the learned store, consults the dead, and lives past ages o'er. Or wandering thoughtful in the silent wood, attends the duties of the wise and good, t'observe a mean, be to himself a friend, to follow nature, and regard his end, or looks on heaven with more than mortal eyes, bids his free soul expatiate in the skies, amid her kindred stars familiar roam, survey the region, and confess her home. Such was the life great Scipio once admired, thus Atticus, and Trumbull thus retired. Ye sacred nine, that all my soul possess, whose raptures fire me, and whose visions bless, bear me, oh bear me to sequestered scenes, the bowery mazes, and surrounding greens, to Thames's banks which fragrant breezes fill, or where ye Muses sport on Cooper's Hill. On Cooper's Hill eternal wreaths shall grow, while lasts the mountain, or while Thames shall flow. I seem thro' consecrated walks to rove, I hear soft music die along the grove. Led by the sound, I roam from shade to shade, by God-like poets venerable made. Hear his first lays. Majestic Denham sung, there the last numbers flowed from Cowley's tongue. O early lost, what tears the river shed, when the sad pomp along his banks was led? His drooping swans on every note expire, and on his willows hung each muse's lyre. Since fate relentless stopped their heavenly voice, no more the forests ring, or groves rejoice. Who now shall charm the shades, where Cowley strung his living harp, and lofty Denham sung? But hark! The groves rejoice, the forest rings. Are these revived? Or is it Granville sings? 'Tis yours, my lord, to bless our soft retreats, and call the Muses to their ancient seats, to paint anew the flowery sylvan scenes, to crown the forests with immortal greens, make Windsor hills in lofty numbers rise, and lift her turrets nearer to the skies, to sing those honours you deserve to wear, and add new lustre to her silver star. Here noble Surrey felt the sacred rage, Surrey, the Granville of a former age. Matchless his pen, victorious was his lance, bold in the lists, and graceful in the dance. in the same shades the Cupids tuned his lyre, to the same notes, of love, and soft desire. Fair Geraldine, bright object of his vow, then filled the groves, as heavenly Myra now. O wouldst thou sing what heroes Windsor bore, what kings first breathed upon her winding shore, or raise old warriors, whose adored remains in weeping vaults her hallowed earth contains. With Edward's axe adorn the shining page, stretch his long triumphs down through every age, draw monarchs chained, and Cressy's glorious field, the lilies blazing on the regal shield. Then, from her roofs when Vario's colours fall, and leave inanimate the naked wall, still in thy song should vanquished France appear, and bleed forever under Britain's spear. Let softer strains ill-fated Henry mourn, and palms eternal flourish round his urn. Here o'er the martyr king the marble weeps, and fast beside him, once feared Edward sleeps, whom not extended Albion could contain. From old Belerium to the northern main, the grave unites, where even the great find rest, and blended lie oppressor and oppressed. Make sacred Charles's tomb forever known, obscure the place, and uninscribed the stone. O fact accursed! What tears has Albion shed, heavens, what new wounds! And how her old have bled! She saw her sons with purple deaths expire, her sacred domes involved in rolling fire, a dreadful series of intestine wars, inglorious triumphs, and dishonest scars. At length great Anna said, "Let discord cease." She said, the world obeyed, and all was peace. In that blessed moment, from his oozy bed old Father Thames advanced his reverend head. His tresses dropped with dews, and o'er the stream his shining horns diffused a golden gleam. Graved on his urn, appeared the moon that guides his swelling waters, and alternate tides. The fee-gored streams in waves of silver rolled, and on their banks Augusta rose in gold. Around his throne the sea-born brothers stood, who swell with tributary urns his flood. First the famed authors of his ancient name, the winding Isis and the fruitful Tame, the Kennet swift, for silver eels renowned, the Loddon slow, with verdant alders crowned, Cole, whose clear streams his flowery islands lave, and chalky way, that rolls a milky wave. The blue, transparent Vandalus appears, the gulfy Lee his edgy tresses rears, and sullen Mole, that hides his diving flood, and silent Darrant, stained with Danish blood. High in the midst, upon his urn reclined, his sea-green mantle waving with the wind. The god appeared. He turned his azure eyes where Windsor domes and pompous turrets rise, then bowed and spoke. The winds forget to roar, and the hushed waves glide softly to the shore. Hail, sacred peace! Hail long-expected days, that Thames's glory to the stars shall raise. Though Tiber's streams immortal Rome behold, though foaming Hermus swells with tides of gold, from heaven itself though sevenfold Nilus flows, and harvests on 100 realms bestows, these now no more shall be the Muses' themes, lost in my fame, as in the sea their streams. Let Volga's banks with iron squadrons shine, and groves of lances glitter on the Rhine. Let barbarous Ganges arm a servile train. Be mine the blessings of a peaceful reign. No more my sons shall die with British blood red Iber's sands, or Ister's foaming flood. Safe on my shore each unmolested swain shall tend the flocks, or reap the bearded grain. The shady empire shall retain no trace of war or blood, but in the sylvan chase the trumpets sleep, while cheerful horns are blown, and arms employed on birds and beasts alone. Behold, ascending villas on my side, project long shadows o'er the crystal tide. Behold, Augusta's glittering spires increase, and temples rise, the beauteous works of peace. I see where two fair cities bend their ample bow, a new white ball ascend. Their mighty nations shall inquire their doom, the world's great oracle in times to come. Their kings shall sue, and suppliant states be seen once more to bend before a British queen. Thy trees, fair Windsor, now shall leave their woods, and half thy forests rush into my floods, bear Britain's thunder, and her cross display, to the bright regions of the rising day. Tempt icy seas, where scarce the waters roll, where clearer flames glow round the frozen pole, or under southern skies exalt their sails, led by new stars, and borne by spicy gales. For me the balm shall bleed, and amber flow, the coral redden, and the ruby glow, the pearly shell its lucid globe enfold, and Phoebus warm the ripening ore to gold. The time shall come, when free as seas or wind unbounded Thames shall flow for all mankind, whole nations enter with each swelling tide, and seas but join the regions they divide. Earth's distant ends our glory shall behold, and the new world launch forth to seek the old. Then ships of uncouth form shall stem the tide, and feathered people crowd my wealthy side, and naked youths and painted chiefs admire our speech, our color, and our strange attire. O stretch thy reign, fair peace, from shore to shore, till conquest cease, and slavery be no more, till the freed Indians in their native groves reap their own fruits, and woo their sable loves, Peru once more a race of kings behold, and other Mexicos be roofed with gold. Exile D by thee from earth to deepest hell, in brazen bonds shall barbarous discord dwell, gigantic pride, pale terror, gloomy care, and mad ambition, shall attend her there. Their purple vengeance bathed in gore retires, her weapons blunted, and extinct her fires. Their hateful envy her own snakes shall feel, and persecution mourn her broken wheel. Their faction roar, rebellion bite her chain, and gasping furies thirst for blood in vain. Here cease thy flight, nor with unhallowed lays touch the fair fame of Albion's golden days. The thoughts of gods let Granville's verse recite, and bring the scenes of opening fate to light. My humble muse, in unambitious strains, paints the green forests and the flowery plains, where peace descending bids her olive spring, and scatters blessings from her dove-like wing. Evie and I more sweetly pass my careless days, pleased in the silent shade with empty praise. Enough for me, that to the listening swains first in these fields I sung the sylvan strains.